Good evening, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People. Today is May 12, 2018, and now that we are just 2 days away from May 14th and the 70th anniversary of Israel, I thought this would be a great time to bring an update, share with you some things that I have seen, and also give you an update on what has been happening with me and my family. And I want to share a personal testimony with you guys that on the day of that I made my last video and said I would not be making any more videos, I had a wonderful confirmation that came in on that day. Yeah, the same day I had just actually finished uploading that video, and I got a message from my daughter who's in Denver, Colorado. Melissa, and she's there with, she's here where I am now in Denver, Colorado. She's here with my other son, Michael. And so she sent me a message and said, Dad, I really want you to come and visit, and I want you to help me get set up here. And we just want to see you. And so this was, a wonderful confirmation. A wonderful confirmation to me that the time was perfect and right, that I step away and spend more time with my family that really needed me, and everything, doing this job, watching for the return of Christ is an all-consuming effort, okay? It's an all-consuming effort. It's something that I've, put everything else on hold. And within that, many times even my family was put on the back burner as I was in so many things that just consume, that were consuming me. And so this has been a wonderful time. I was able to come to Denver, Colorado on May 3rd. So I've been here now for about 7 or 8 days. And it's been a wonderful time. It was a great time for me to spend real good quality time with my wife, Martha, and with all the kids, and Steve Jr., and all the other orphan kids that live with us in our home. And then to be able to be here now with my kids in Denver, and just to be here and to have great quality family time. And, this has been just beautiful. This has really been beautiful. And I've been praying a lot about, I've been wanting to share something. I wanted to make sure that I wanted to make sure everything was in order with my family. I wanted to make sure I was doing all the things I needed to do, and spending all the good quality time I needed to with my family, and making sure I'm talking, every day to my wife on the phone with my wife, and I didn't want to, make a video a priority and put anything else. I didn't want it. I wanted to make sure I'm not sacrificing anything else, to be able to do that. And so I've been praying a lot and waiting, and there's been a number of things that I wanted to say, but just did not feel right. The time did not feel right. And so, we've come to a time now where, we've been enjoying great family time. I've been able to do a lot of watching and sharing on Facebook, which is, I'm online, but it's not as time consuming. And I haven't had to sacrifice anything. I've had wonderful time with my family. And that is what the Lord gave me as my priority. And so right now, as we are approaching the 14th of May, the 70th anniversary of Israel, there's some very important things that I want to share with you. And, this is such an important time, such an amazing moment in time that we are approaching. I mean, this is the most significant prophetic fulfillment since the time of Christ, the 70th anniversary of Israel. There's so much biblical weight to it. And, I didn't want to, I waited on the Lord and asked him for his will and for his guidance. And, I did not feel any type of release until right now. And over the last couple days, I've been able to, spend wonderful time with my kids. And now it's late at night, and I've got some things that I want to share with you. And so I reiterate, the Lord has given me a priority at this time to be with my family. That's why I really needed to step away. And I'm really, really thankful that the Lord has opened this door, this opportunity for me to come and, to be with my kids in beautiful Colorado. We had a nice trip up into the mountains. It's still basically winter here. There's certain passes that are not yet opened they don't open until the end of May. And so it's interesting that here in Colorado, it's still the winter season, basically. And there's a huge winter storm coming through Idaho right now. They're expecting 20 inches of snow in Idaho. And I don't know how cold it's going to get in Colorado. It was really getting cold tonight. I felt really, really breezy and really chilly, the air tonight here in Colorado. And so, anyway, what I want to share with you, is some things that I've seen. At the end of this, I'm going to share with you a Bible verse that someone sent to me on my Facebook page. And that really breaks down the 70 years of Daniel in a very, very interesting way that points to the same day that Israel was reborn. On that same day will be the time of Jacob's trouble. The same day that Israel was reborn will be the day of Jacob's trouble. Now, this is an interpretation. It's not an absolute declaration. This is the way it has to be, but it's something that really brings to light a scripture that is very, very important within this time that we are watching. And so this is all going to tie in to a 7-year timeline going all the way back from 2018 to 2011. And it has to do with the training of ISIS by Barack Obama. There was a video that came out in an interview when Obama told the truth. We are speeding up the training of ISIL. This is what he said exactly in the video. And this is going to tie in to Benghazi in Libya, and how Libya and Syria are connected to this timeline. And it has to do with the training of the army of the beast. Barack Obama is the leader of ISIL or of ISIS, and he came out and said this very, very clearly in a video. We are speeding up the training of ISIS. And so what we have here is if we go from May 14th, or let's go backwards. On April 6th, 2011, there was a letter that Omar Gaddafi wrote to Barack Obama that asking Obama to end the attacks. This was April 6th, 2011. Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi has appealed directly to President Barack Obama to halt what the Libyan leader called an unjust war and wished Obama good luck in his bid for re-election next year. He also, in this video, called Barack Obama our son, the son of the Muslims, our son. Okay. So we have that is a beginning marker. And then we have 1,260 days from that. Brings us to September 17th, 2014. And this was the day that the House voted to aid the Syrian rebels. So we have here from April 6th, 2011, adding 1,260 days, we come to September 17th, 2014. And this is when the House voted to authorize aid to Syrian rebels in the ISIS fight. Barack Obama came out and said in the video that he was training ISIL. And then here the House votes to authorize aid to the Syrian rebels. And so what we have is we have the financing and the promotion and the training of ISIS and of the rebels. It's connected to Libya. It's connected to the takedown of Libya, which was Benghazi, and all the arms trafficking that was happening there, and how that was connected to the training and the rise of ISIS. Okay? And this was September 17th, 2014. Okay? So, looking at this timeline here, April 6th, 2011, Obama's interaction with Libya. 1,260 days after that, the House votes to aid the Syrian rebels. And from September 17, 2014, adding 1,335 days, brings us to May 14th, 2018, the 70th anniversary of Israel. And so here we have a connection from May 14, 2018, a 7-year timeline of Barack Obama training ISIS for the time of the Great Tribulation. Now, another thing that we must consider and remember is that May 14th to May 15th is the beginning of Ramadan. So at the same time that Israel is fulfilling the 70-year prophecy, the beginning of Ramadan and the holiday of the Muslims, and so that is going to play into what we are watching, I do believe. And so now let me go on here, showing the time frames that brings us to May 14th. And the reason I bring up the 1,335 days again is what was sent to me from Facebook. But let's look at Daniel 12, 11 through 13 again. And it says, from the time that the regular sacrifice is abolished and the abomination of desolation is set up, there will be 1,290 days. How blessed is he who keeps waiting and attains to the 1,335 days. But as for you, go your way to the end, then you will enter into rest and rise again for your allotted portion at the end of the age. So I'm in Daniel 12, and I brought forth this understanding of this 7-year timeline because what was sent to me was also out of Daniel chapter 12. And so I said, if there's something in Daniel chapter 12 that is showing us the importance of May 14th, then this timeline has got to link us up with something. A 7-year timeline ending with the 1,335 days. It has to be connected to something with May 14th. And so here's what was sent to me from Facebook. And this is the way that this was presented to me, was that this points to the same day that Israel was reborn will be the time of the beginning of the Great Tribulation, the time of Jacob's trouble. And it's right here in Daniel 12:1. It says, at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. There shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. There shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. When did Israel become a nation? There will be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. Israel became a nation on May 14th, 1948. And then it says, even to that same time, since such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. That same time that even in the book of Daniel confirms 70 weeks from the order to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem. 70 weeks. Such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Daniel 9:24 and 25 says 70 weeks are determined for my people from the order to restore and rebuild Jerusalem. 70 weeks are determined. And here we have in Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, such as never was since there was a nation. Israel became again a nation. What nation? What nation wasn't, since there was a nation? What nation? Israel. There will be a time of trouble. And even at that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So here we have a connection from the time of the rebirth of the nation of Israel, a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, since Israel became a nation. On May 14th, 1948, even to that same time, which is 70 years to the day, the same time, May 14th, 2018, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So I want to share with you tonight that everything that is happening over the last, especially over the last week, we saw an uptick in Syria and in Israel and in Iran and Russia, when it was coming up on the April 20th anniversary of Israel. And they had a celebration, a 70-hour celebration on April 12th. And so, on April 20th. And then we saw an uptick, and there was a great increase in pressure and in the rumors of war. And it could have been that time, and we were watching. I was definitely watching, very, very vigilant watching that time. And there were so many things happening, and it could have been the time that was going to kick in. But then we had a break. In the action, right? We had a slowdown. We had the peace deal with Korea and the Koreas. And now, over the last few days, since the 8th of May, we had Trump renege on the Iran deal. We had the conflict has begun now in Israel, and there's missiles being sent back and forth. Israel has told the people in the Golan Heights in the north to prepare their bunkers to get into safety, that they're expecting war. Netanyahu said it's better to do a preemptive strike than to wait and allow Iran to attack with their full power. And so here we have now this uptick again, and there's so many things happening, and I'm not bringing a full report of all the news and all the ways that we can see that the pressure is rising, and we're coming to a point where the signs are showing that we're coming to the end. We are coming to the end. This is going to be breaking out. And so this text was sent to me by someone who, according to this text, saw that this seems very, very clear, that at the same time, since there was a nation, since Israel became a nation, at the same time, thy people will be delivered. And so her comment was, this looks like Daniel 12:1 points to the exact timing of the rebirth of Israel, 70 years for the beginning of the Great Tribulation. As I said earlier, we do not know the day or the hour. This is not an absolute declaration. This is a thought that is being shared. I'm thankful that someone else shared this with me, and I thought that at this time, this would be a great opportunity to bring forth this information. I prayed and trusted this video to the Lord, and I felt release and got release. That I had tried to do other videos previous, and I just did not feel at all peace about sharing information. The time had not yet come, and so now I do definitely believe that the time has come for this information to be shared, and I pray that everybody is truly blessed. I'm so looking forward to Okay, recording is still going. I thought that I had lost the recording, and so I was wondering where I had left off. But the recording is still in process, so I just want to share with everybody tonight that I pray that everybody is ready. The signs have been so clear, and the word of the Lord is perfect. God's word is perfect. And 70 weeks are determined. I do not believe at all that May 14th will go by without incident. Is it the exact day for the rapture and the beginning of the Great Tribulation? We do not know, but we can anticipate. And for those who are expecting and longing, we can definitely hope. And I thank God that through all the signs that have been given since 2011, since 2009, the Obama Nobel Peace Prize and the abomination of desolation, and the betrayal of Israel by Barack Obama in 2016 as he betrayed the unbreakable alliance. See, all these are signs that the days of great tribulation have been and will be shortened. So I don't know when the Great Tribulation will end. And I do know that 1,260 days from May 14th brings us to around the end of October in 2021. And that would be the timing of the fall feasts, the Feast of Tabernacles. And that, I think, is a wonderful confirmation of the 1,260 days of the woman flying into the wilderness for 3.5 years. And so here we are. Here we are 2 days away from May 14th. And I'm very, very thankful I had this opportunity to share one more video with you. I have been wanting to share, and I really needed to step aside, and I thank God that I've gotten release tonight to share with everybody. I pray everyone is wonderfully blessed. So longing to meet everybody in the kingdom and the wedding supper of the Lamb. And we continue to pray and intercede for the world. And I'm thankful that the Lord brought me back to Colorado, where I was in 2012. Before I received my sign, my wife and I were here for 40 days. No, we were here during a 40-day fast. And part of our 40-day fast we spent in Colorado. We actually made a trip up to the Continental Divide. I really sensed the Lord was beginning to prepare me to receive this ministry that would be bringing a prophetic word to a nation that the Lord told me when I was 22 years old. And 22 years the Lord prepared me, and it was when I was 44 that I received my sign on December 12th, 2012. But it was just a month or so before that sign that I was here in Colorado with my wife. We went up to the Continental Divide, the highest point on the Trail Ridge Road, which is above the Rocky Mountain National Park. And so up on the Continental Divide, I interceded for the United States. This was just a month before the election, when Barack Obama was reelected, his second term, and when he said that he would have more flexibility during his second term. And this is when he really grabbed his power to be able to train ISIS and to do all the things that happened. And so I'm very thankful that the Lord has brought me back to Denver at this time. I pray everybody's blessed, and I don't want to say goodbye. I'd really like to continue, but I'm going to say goodbye, and we'll see you all very, very soon in the kingdom. God bless.